What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video I will be reviewing episode 198 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, titled Monsters. So this episode was the start of the Naruto versus Delta fight, and yeah, so I'll start off with Delta, coming in and picking up where we left off from last week, and Kawaki explained that she's a inner member of Korra. She's one of the basically leaders or the core members of the group, and he said that all of the inners are monsters. And it started off with Delta attacking Naruto, and she noticed like early on that Naruto wasn't, he was just playing about he was faking pretty much being hurt. He said that, yeah, I thought if I was acting like I was weakened, I thought if I was weakened that you would, give me more intel, so that's why I act like I was weakened. So, but then Naruto immediately said after that, I'm gonna go all out now. So, yeah, Naruto was going all out in this fight against Delta, even though Kawaki said later on in the episode that, us getting away would prevent him from going all out. But he was already going all out because he stated he was going all out. But what Kawaki was talking about was the fact that Naruto, he was trying to lure Delta away from the rest of them, and like he didn't want them to get hurt basically. But that's just Kawaki's interpretation of what's going on. But the fact of the matter is Naruto said he was going all out, and yeah, so it was basically like, so we got to see more of Delta's ability. She absorbed Naruto's Rasengan and stuff like that, and she tried to catch him off guard with a scientific ninja tool. Naruto was able to get out of the way of it. And yeah, they were having a pretty back and forth fight. And one thing, a cool thing that I like that the anime added in there is when Naruto said he was going all out, the chakra, his chakra aura, you could see it forming around him, and he actually looked like he powered up a little bit. So unlike in the manga, you can really tell a difference. But yeah, Naruto, after he said he's going all out, he powered up a little bit. So, and also keep in mind in this fight, Naruto is 100%. He didn't have any, it's not like the Momoshiki fight where Sasuke and Naruto weren't 100% because Sasuke had to open a portal to go into to send a Kage into that other dimension, which uses up a lot of his chakra, as he stated all the way back in the Chinu Chiya Naruto Gaiden arc. And Naruto, he had chakra absorbed from Momoshiki. However, in this fight, Naruto's 100%, and he stated he was going all out against Delta. So, yeah, that's important to keep in mind, especially for the super hardcore Naruto fans who like to act like he's extremely strong, which he is extremely strong. But don't try to downplay Delta in this fight. She's definitely on Naruto's level in this fight. Now, yeah, so the story of the fight, I liked. The story of the fight was fantastic, and just like how it was in the manga, it was fantastic. And Naruto, he was talking about how his kids, don't lay a finger on you, don't you dare think about laying a finger on them kids. And Delta was like, "Oh, don't worry, I'll kill you, but first I gotta get Kawaki or whatever, and I'll deal with your kids later." And Naruto was like, "No, it seems like you got the wrong idea. I'm including Kawaki when I say those kids. Kawaki's included in that." And yeah, so it was cool to see. I mean, it was cool for not only for us to see it, but for Kawaki to see that Naruto actually does care about him, which he's been showing that that he actually does care about Kawaki this whole time. But he basically said, that Kawaki is one of his kids. Basically, he's like, I'm including Kawaki in those kids. Don't you dare touch them. Don't you dare lay a finger on them. So yeah, and Kawaki, he seemed like he seemed shocked, kind of, a little bit surprised, but also kind of happy when Naruto said that. And yeah, so just everything about the episode in terms of story was fantastic, and we got to see more of Delta's abilities. She also had this chakra, this laser beam from her eyes that actually, once it hits something, it actually destroys its cells. So it basically negates regeneration. So even Naruto's, the regeneration he usually gets, the healing that he usually gets from the Nine Tails, that wouldn't even, the Nine Tails chakra wouldn't even be able to heal him if he got hit by that. And the same is the case for Kawaki and his body modifications. So yeah, so it was some we had a decent amount of taijutsu in the fight. Kawaki, he explained what he thought was going on. He did say that he thought that Naruto was leading the fight like a dance, and he kind of thought that they were kind of like it's kind of like a dance, and Naruto was leading the fight like how guys usually lead in the dance and stuff like that. But he thought Naruto was leading the fight kind of like a dance and trying to get Delta to get away from the rest of them. And he told Boruto, "Hey, don't get involved. You know, it'll be pretty. We'll just be getting in the way." And in the manga, I gotta go back and read that manga chapter, but I'm pretty sure I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure in the manga, Boruto threw his Rasengan at Delta before Delta, grabbed Himawari. However, in the anime, that happened afterwards. So what happened was, Delta pretty much realized that she couldn't hit Naruto. She couldn't hit Naruto with the beam when Naruto was right in front of her. So she tried to go to Delta. She went to Naruto's kids instead, and she picked up Himawari, and she threw Himawari in the air because she knew that was the only way that she was going to be able to hit Naruto with her laser beam, which is her most powerful ability because it actually negates regeneration. And yeah, but before she could throw Himawari in the air, Boruto threw his Rasengan at her, and she absorbed it. And even though Boruto's Rasengan actually vanished, her drone in the air actually seen Boruto's Rasengan. She seen it even though it had disappeared, and normal humans couldn't see it, but hers actually saw it. And this is giving us, because we know that her dojutsu is like a scientifically created dojutsu, but it also seems like she kind of has some characteristics of the Byakugan with her dojutsu, because earlier on in the episode she said she can see right through Naruto, and that she could see that Naruto wasn't hurt when he was faking like he was hurt initially, when he was faking like he was weakened after Delta stabbed him through the stomach. She said, "I can see right through you. I know you're not hurt from that." So that, plus the fact that she could see Boruto's invisible Rasengan, that leads me to believe that her dojutsu also has the ability to see chakra, sort of like the Byakugan and the Sharingan does. I don't know if it can see, the chakra points and stuff like that, like a Byakugan can, but it seems like it can definitely see chakra. Now, yeah, so she absorbed Boruto's Rasengan, and then she threw Himawari in the sky, and Naruto, she knew that was going to possibly be the only way she could hit Naruto with her laser beams, and then Naruto, went to save his daughter, as she expected that he was going to go to save his daughter, and then she shot the beams in the air, and then Kawaki actually jumped in the way of that, and he protected Himawari and Naruto with his his body modifications, his arm, his scientifically enhanced arm. And that was a really good moment, a very, emotional moment. Even Himawari, she started to cry, and she was like, Kawaki, and Kawaki was like, "Yeah, don't cry for me. Without the Hokage, we don't, we'd all die. We wouldn't stand a chance without the Hokage." And Kawaki was like, "So are we even for that base now, Boruto?" And you can see Boruto was getting emotional. He was like, "Now is not the time to be thinking about that." And but yeah, I think it's even more than what Kawaki was saying. It's not just that him just wanted to make sure that the Hokage was around the fight, and just worried about if the Hokage can protect him. But it does. You can see that Kawaki is starting to warm up to the Uzumakis, especially after what Naruto said about including Kawaki as a part as his kid, and you can see that bond is starting to that bond between Kawaki and the rest of the Uzumaki family. You can see that Kawaki is starting to form that bond, and he's starting to look at them as a family, which is fantastic. And he even went so far as to sacrifice his own arm in order to protect them. So that was just a great moment, overall, and it's showing the build up of their bond between the Uzumakis and Kawaki. So overall, this episode was absolutely fantastic, and yeah, it was a fantastic episode. And so with all of that being said, obviously the story is a 10 out of 10, absolutely fantastic as usual. But as far as the art and animation go, I'm gonna have to give the art a 8 out of 10. I took off 2 full points because at 14 minutes and 39 seconds, when Kawaki's talking about how, you know, how he, in short, Naruto has the upper hand. You know, it's some weird looking art. You know, after he says that, I mean, before he says that, it's some weird looking art. So, like Delta, her body looking kind of weird during that taijutsu portion when Kawaki was talking. During just some scenes, not all scenes, but just like maybe 2 or 3 of those scenes, Delta's body looked weird, and yeah, she just looked weird when she was fighting Naruto in those taijutsu scenes. Only during that portion when Kawaki was talking, and like I said, it was only a couple scenes, like 2 or 3 scenes, but she did look weird, like a couple, just like a little, just a split second of the episode, basically. So I'm not gonna take off too many points for that, but yeah, there was some bad artwork there, so I'm gonna have to be honest about that and say, yo, some bad artwork. I could give it a 9 out of 10 because they're really the most. Actually, yeah, I'll give it a 9. Yeah, I'll give it a 9 because that was only like one brief second, but the rest of the episode was fantastic. So in terms of art, so yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10. In terms of animation, which is, you know, like the movement and stuff, the move, like how things look in motion, how fluid things move and stuff. The animation was, I'll say, a 10 out of 10. Yeah, the whole episode, the animation was well done. Like I said, it was only just when Kawaki was talking, those brief taijutsu portions, Delta did look weird in terms of artwork, but the movement and stuff was still good, even the taijutsu. But the majority of the episode had no bad art or bad animation. It was fantastic art and animation throughout the entire episode. It was fantastic art and animation, aside from the bad art that we got when Kawaki was talking, and you know, and you seen Delta versus Naruto in a taijutsu. Only like 1 or 2 of those scenes, Delta did look weird. So overall, 9 out of 10 for the art, 10 out of 10 for the animation, and 10 out of 10 for the story. Overall, a 10 out of 10 fantastic episode of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, as usual. And yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. So in next week's episode, based on a preview, we're going to get the rest of that Naruto versus Delta fight. I already knew that, obviously, because I read the manga. But one thing I will say about the preview is the art did look, you know, Boruto's face looked weird, and the artwork did look bad in the preview. And that episode is the episode that I've been seeing people say that it's been done by Studio Period. So I did have high expectations for that episode. So hopefully, you know, things are going to look better when the actual episode comes. I'm not going to judge off the preview because, as we've seen many times in Boruto, things could look worse in the preview, or, you know, in general, they can change things between the time that the preview is shown and the time that the episode actually comes out. And another thing I want to remind people is, although this is a fight that manga readers have been looking forward to a lot, Naruto versus Delta, this is not like a huge climactic battle. Like, this is not like a final type of battle for this arc. You know, this is one of the earlier fights in this arc. We're going to get multiple more fights after this. So I don't know exactly what Studio Period is prioritizing, but it doesn't seem like they are prioritizing this fight in comparison to the other fights that we're going to get later on. Like, for example, we're going to see other core members fight, such as Jigen and Boro. So they're probably prioritizing those fights when it comes to art and animation. Because with this fight, although, like I said, the art and animation was fantastic. I mean, well, I think it was good throughout the entire episode, aside from like that portion where Delta looked kind of weird. But, you know, for all I'm saying is they could be saving their most valuable resources for later, for future fights, because this is not like the final fight of this arc. And also, for those people who might compare this to the Momoshiki fight, what you gotta remember about the Momoshiki fight is, number one, that was the final fight of the arc, for one, and for two, that fight, you know, especially when Naruto and Sasuke fought Momoshiki using taijutsu and stuff, that was only for like a couple of minutes, like a minute and a half type. That wasn't very long. That's all I'm saying. That fight, you know, Naruto and Sasuke versus Momoshiki, that was not a long sequence. That was about a minute or so. Whereas this Delta fight is lasting more than one episode. So this is one of the longest fights, if not the longest fight in the Boruto anime so far. Because I cannot remember a fight that lasted more than one episode in the Boruto anime. So basically what I'm saying is, It's understandable if there is some portions, like very slight portions of the fight, that the animation isn't looking top notch or the artwork isn't looking top notch. Like I said, mainly it was just the artwork. I only seen some problems with the artwork. The animation looked pretty good throughout the entire episode, but yeah, it does make sense that there will be some parts where it is slacking when it comes to either artwork or animation. When you have a fight that lasts literally more than a whole episode, I'm pretty sure this is the longest fight in the Boruto anime because it's gonna last more than one episode. It's probably gonna last almost 2 episodes, so maybe even 3. But based on what I've seen, it's only gonna last 2. So in the manga, it was about 4 chapters. So yeah, with that being said, it is understandable that it's not gonna be consistently fantastic art and animation 24/7 throughout the whole fight, just like it was in the Momoshiki versus Naruto and Sasuke fight. Now, with that being said, that's all I gotta say for this episode. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing and clicking that channel notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. Also, if you liked the video, please drop a like and also drop a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you thought of my review and of the episode in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.